The Syrian crisis is a turning point in terms of focusing on the regionalization of the politics and security in the Middle East. Of course, ever since the September 11 Afghanistan war, Iraqi war, we witnessed some kind of regionalization of the security in the region, and that is coming from the fact that some trans-regional actors came to the region, brought war, and they left the region without giving any solution. And this is happening to Syria as well. And the other thing is that the Syrian crisis somehow brought a new kind of geopolitical rivalry between regional actors. Of course, we had previously ideological rivalries, and this is something new and makes the situation even more significant. And of course, here we discussed in the previous panel about the role of regional actors, and I think these regional actors, because of geographical centrality and of course value-based ideological aspects, are somehow connected with the political security of the region. Therefore, they will consider the whole situation as a geopolitical rivalry, and this could be, again, very sensitive and at the same time very important. The result of this regionalization of security and politics in the region has somehow affected the Syrian crisis, in my belief, in three ways. One is the concepts of the Syrian crisis. We see in three ways the concepts are shifting. First, it was the war for filling the power vacuum, and now we have the war in battling terrorism. And this is important because these terrorist elements, of course, they do not believe in two principles that are accepted by all regional, internal and international actors, and that is to keep the state system and at the same time stopping immediately the war situation. The terrorists and violent groups do not believe in that, and of course, in their nature, the terrorists are showing what they want. They are anti-nation state, they are against political borders, they do not believe in international norm and regulations. Of course, they are very monopolistic in power. They would like to hold the power, so the prospects of staying in a coalitional power is something zero, and that means civil war. And of course, they are ideological. You see this shift from filling the power vacuum is towards battling terrorism, and that's a shift of concept. The second issue is the battle for change of the regime, the entire regime in Syria, and today we are talking about battle to shift the Assad as an individual, or even force him to not running for the elections. This is different, and it wasn't there. And of course, the third concept that has shifted is that the war based on military solution is shifting to the war for change for political solution, and that is again another major shift in concepts. In another aspects, I think on the ground also the political scene is changing, and that is we are a few more steps against accepting the legitimacy of political solution in Syria, and that was obvious in the Geneva II conference when countries like Saudi Arabia and Turkey did not somehow oppose with this kind of solution to end the war in Syria. And the second thing in the ground is also acceptance of the necessity of political consensus between different actors. And I think this is important because the region, as I mentioned, the previous session is full of political and ideological values and narratives. It is not possible to gather all actors without addressing their this kind of narratives. And the third point in this set of understanding is that we are witnessing the acceptance of balance of interest between different actors. And this balance of interest could happen between opposition forces inside the country and outside of the country. And again, I think that is important. But the third shift is in the role of foreign actor here. I think by foreign actor, I mean the Western America. Of course, we are witnessing that we are withdrawing from this idea that America can come to the region and have the final say and finish the situation. This is totally different from the Kosovo crisis, because as the situation showed itself in the process, there have been a lot of realities coming out of this crisis. And of course, that the American current administration is losing interest to somehow initiate military intervention, because it's losing interest in the Middle East. The Americans are withdrawing their forces. They are getting to a kind of acceptance with Iran. They need to withdraw from Afghanistan. They have already left Iraq. Therefore, there is no appetite for another military intervention in the region. And that, in terms of policy implications, will bring a lot of significant results for the battle on the ground, because it shows the opposition forces that there will be no foreign intervention. And if there is no foreign intervention, the government of Syria is able to manage the crisis, and that leads different forces to accept political solution or not. And that is very important. And of course, at the end, there are American allies who are going their own independent way, like Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia is realizing that America, at some point, that it needs to get to some kind of solutions. It might be against Saudi's interest, and that is the worry of Saudi Arabia in the American and Iran nuclear deal. Therefore, I think this is important to understand, that there is some kind of independent views amongst the American allies in handling the regional issues. My point here is that we are witnessing a kind of crisis that is focusing on regional realities. Of course, I will explain that why this is important. I think that the narratives and all elements that are affecting this crisis is focusing in the hand of regional politics. And I'm not saying regional actors, regional politics. That is very much important from my own view. But what we can do, I think, by describing this, I wanted to say that the first step should be taken by some kind of increased cooperation between regional actors. That is important because regional actors have their own interests. They see the situation at large. I mean, Saudi Arabia, of course, Syria is important for Saudi Arabia, but it sees in a broader context of Iran's regional role. If Saudis somehow see that the situation can be in a way that can preserve their interest at the same time, that is something that can help the two sides to go in that direction. Therefore, I think in a minimalist way, there should be a kind of cooperation between regional actors first. And those regional actors that are really key. I think now Iran and Saudi Arabia, again, because of this geographical centrality, connecting with different subsystems, the Levant, the Persian Gulf, even in Afghanistan, they have a role to play because they see the situation in a package way. And they are, of course, in an ideological value-based, connected to the identical matters that somehow influence their politics and their geopolitical centrality at the same time. Turkey is an important country, but again, I think Turkey has not been able to connect itself with this description that I just mentioned, but Turkey is still an important country in solving this situation in Syria. Here, Iran-Saudi Arabia relations and cooperation matters a lot. With Turkey, I think Iran and Turkey can cooperate on intelligence matters, in somehow suppressing the terrorists. As Osman mentioned in the previous session, there are a lot of rooms in cooperation between Iran and Turkey, because Iran and Turkey, at the end of the day, would like to increase their relations. Despite all tensions they had in the Syrian crisis, AKP party and Iranian new government would like to increase relations because they think that their increased relations will benefit both countries strategically. Therefore, there is this potential here that the two sides can work on that. At the second level, I think the international community, as I mentioned in the previous session, should encourage this kind of regional cooperation. Therefore, my point is that we should start from step-by-step regional cooperation, solving situations by some kind of even behind-the-scene negotiations between Iran, Saudi Arabia, Iran, Turkey, and then the international community should come and encourage them to cooperate, because this needs a guarantee, and the guarantee should be coming from the international community. Ceasefire, of course, humanitarian aid, coalitional government, and at the same time, the issue of construction of the country. I think here the Assad regime, or whoever is running the state of Syria, needs the international community and the money of regional countries, especially the Persian Gulf rich countries at the end of the day. And in this process, the Assad regime or whoever is in the power can somehow accommodate the situation in the coalitional government. Here I think we should focus on a kind of minimalist approach, and of course here, you like it or not, the Assad regime thinks that it stays in power. Therefore, the point is that focusing too much on this precondition that Assad must go at the beginning of any negotiation will kill the entire negotiations. Perhaps there is a need to focus on a new approach, and that new approach is that accepting the role of foreign or regional actors, I will explain about the Iranian role, that in the process, the Assad must be convinced to somehow accept some changes, or at the end of the situation, leave the power. But pushing on the beginning somehow will kill the entire negotiation, as it did in the Geneva II conference, as a matter of reality. But how can Iran help? I have a few points and finish my talk. There is a lot that Iran is following its own principles in Syria. That is to support the Assad regime to the last minute. I think Iran prefers the Assad regime, but this doesn't mean that we should not think of how Iran can be accommodative and at the same time pragmatic in solving the situation. I mean, there are some spaces that can get Iran involved in the crisis to the benefit of different sides inside Syria. And as the experience of Afghanistan crisis show, Iran in the process of negotiation will become more accommodative, not at the beginning of the process. Because in that crisis, Iran was included in the crisis. It felt responsible for the regional stability and security, and at some point tried to be accommodative more in the process. Therefore, not at the beginning, perhaps in the process. This is the way that the Iranian act in the negotiating table. I suggest that somehow Iran's role to be redefined. But a few characteristics for Iran's situation in the Syrian crisis. Iran has accepted the necessity of a coalitional government in Syria. That means that Iran believes that the situation is not going to get back in the previous time of Syria. This means that the legitimacy of this coalitional government, based on, to some degree, preserving Iran's geopolitical and ideological interest, is accepted. This is important. But the second thing is that Iran at the same time would like to see the legitimacy of its political solution to be accepted. Of course, we have taken some steps towards this political solution. Lakhdar Ebrahimi just mentioned that Iran's political solution is worth to think about it, and this is coming from the reality. With the help of the Security Council and United Nations, perhaps Iran's political solution can be somehow in a new way be processed. But again, I think this needs some kind of minimalist approach to show itself in the process of negotiations, because the process will sure be long and complicated because it's based on the win-win situation. Here again, I think the Afghanistan model will help to process the Syrian crisis. Let me one point, and that is Iran and Bashar al-Assad. I think Assad himself thinks that he is in a good position, and that's a reality. His withdrawal from power is not in the hand of Iran. because when he feels self-confident, it is not Iran and Russia can force him to go from the power, but Iran can somehow influence Assad to be more realistic in accepting a real coalitional government based on domestic and outside opposition forces, meaningful changes. This is the thing that Iran really can do, and that is something that should be accepted. Here, let me conclude. I think that the Syrian crisis somehow brought this theme of security and stability based on regionalization in the region, and that is something that, again, I think the international community should encourage this new theme that is coming to the region. Sorry about that.